Hey guys, I'm Facebook Live again. It's really amazing how you can get used to this. So give me a hi if you are here, so I can see, and especially you, Dalita, if you are here, please give me a like so I can find you on my iPad, so I can see comments. Oh, hi Suyan. Can you give me a like on this video, Suyan, so I can go in and, oops, I think I just had it here. Okay, I got it. Hi, Hannah, and hi, Marilyn. I'm just going to wait. Yes, the leader. Hi. I knew you were going to come on. So, what I'm going to be doing today, actually, hi, Alison. I'm going to be, I spent like all day today creating, this masterclass. So, this is like hours and hours. I think like a total of 7 hours. So I have a script that I'm going to follow. So sometimes I'm not going to be looking straight in the camera. I'm actually going to be looking to the side and following my script. So I make sure that I present everything I want to present in the exact right order that has the biggest impact. Because this is hopefully, not hopefully, because that means I have no power. No, it is going to change everything you thought you knew about how to do a spiritual business and building it to success. So, first of all, I am gonna welcome you. Okay, and in this class, in this master class, I'm actually gonna want to, hi Lisa, I'm gonna bust a bunch of myths around what it takes to build a successful spiritual business. And these are myths that has been floating around in the spiritual community that is actually really just doing anything but helping you succeed in business. And law of attraction is just one of them. I'm not really going to go into the law of attraction. Other people talk about that, but it doesn't work. I've never really been that into the law of attraction, so I'm not going to go there very much. And then I'm going to help you turn it all around, okay? Because it needs to be turned around from what you're doing wrong to what you're going to be doing right instead. And yes, so these are all things. Hi Kathleen, hi Sika, hi Chiara. Chiara? Awesome to have you with me. So, are you excited to learn? Because I'm very excited to tell you. So, this is going to be how to create 5K months, $5,000 months with ease, and how to avoid the 3 biggest mistakes spiritual entrepreneurs make that leave them with too few clients and being consistently short on cash. And I really can't wait to share all this information with you. It's like when I sat down, yes, hey, I was thinking of you the other day, Kathleen. And when I look down to the side, it's because I'm reading your comments on my iPad, because I can't see them on the computer, because that's where I have my script. So I'm going to follow. So when I was sitting down, like this, I'm just going to throw this in here, right? Because people sometimes ask me, how do you do a launch and all that stuff? How does that work? So how this masterclass came about, I had the idea for it, I think, on the weekend. I wasn't quite sure of the timing, whatever, but then it came in very strongly on Sunday, do this. So I had the title, so I just put the title out. And then I thought I knew what the 3 biggest mistakes were. But it turned out today, and I've sort of been puttering a little bit with it over the last couple of days, trying to get the information down, because I'm using a very specific structure, to present this masterclass. It's like, it's just a really, really great way to present a lot of information in the way that is most, that really gets it to you, where it really makes an impact for you. Because, it doesn't really matter if I sit here and blah, 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 and talk and talk and talk and talk. it really matters that it changes something for you and your business. So this morning when I sat down to start working on the script here, it just turned into something else. It's like just some other information that wanted to come true. And this is one of the beautiful ways that it works. It's like way better than what I had originally planned. Okay? So, and you already started, but since this is a Facebook Live, feel free to comment your heart out, let's get the interaction going both ways. And one thing, wonderful, the idea of actually taking off, getting off the ground and getting to that 5K months is exciting and powerful. Yes, it actually is. And I remember exactly how it felt that way, how it felt when I did it, Chiara. And it is less than a year ago. I can't believe that it's less than a year ago. It was in the very last day of May last year, everything changed for me. Okay, so when you're commenting, because I'm going to go in and focus on, the points I want to cover. So when you have a question or something, make sure it references what I was saying, because I might have moved on, so not have any idea of what it is that you're commenting on. So some of you already know me, and some of you don't know me. So for those of you who don't know me, I just want to tell you just a tiny little bit about myself so you know where I'm coming from and you know a bit of my history. So I have been a spiritual entrepreneur for 30 years. And that's a very, 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 very long time. And in that time, I've had various businesses. They have all been transformation-based, holistic and transformation-based in one way or another. And to tie it together with the business coaching, which I'm doing now, it's like there's always been some business coaching. And, specifically around helping people to make their dream business. I was always in the spiritual community, helping spiritual entrepreneurs launch their business. And it's like, Kathleen, you're here, you know me from way back when, like 1991 when this all started. And I don't know if you remember this about me, but I remember that, that we were talking about this. And, but I have always just focused on the transformation side. And then at one point, what was that? Probably late 90s, I did a year where I was just channeling for people. And what I was channeling was the soul's work and how they could turn into a successful business. It's amazing. Anyway, so over these years, way back, Kathleen. So over these years, I had some businesses that are doing really, really, really well. I've done programs that has been doing really, really well. I have had marketing that has been doing really well. And on the whole, just surviving. So I had some great ones, but they were balanced out by a lot more months that weren't that great. And at one point I was actually a sick single mother on welfare. So scrolling kind of forward, right? So in summer 2018, so almost 2 years ago, I stopped being able to sell. I couldn't sell anything, and I had like one program I was launching and promoting and marketing for 2 months. I did 2 Facebook challenges, I did a million things, and I sold like 2 spots, I think. And it was ridiculous. And I didn't sell for almost a whole year. And this was like sort of end May 2018. And it was not until May 2019 that I started selling again. And the changes happened really, really, really quickly. And it was like there was a whole bunch of things that fell into place that allowed me to make that shift so drastically. And I'm going to get to all of those because this is what really took me from having a business that I could barely survive on to one that creates a money overflow. So getting 10,000 a month is not a big deal anymore. So So May last year, I think I got 2,000 in on the last day in May. No, that was 1st of June. 1st of June last year, I got $2,000 in. In January this year, I got 20,000 in cash and 30,000 in sales. Now, January was like a massive successful month for me. And what also was like, going back to 2018, is like, I was selling a $100 program, and it was impossible for me to get anybody to buy a super powerful program for $100. And just this last month, I sold a business coaching package for $18,000, absolutely effortlessly. And if you think about it, in such of Chiara, easily made, let me see. You say, Chiara, that's me at the minute, Gitte. Easily made 2,000 a month up to 6 months. And now the last 6 months I haven't sold anything, regardless of the marketing, advertising, paid ads, selling style, etc. Yes. And we are going to get to this because this change I made, everybody can do it. There's nothing special about me except that I'm probably more stubborn than everybody else because I kept going for 30 years without giving up. Thank you, Kathleen. So the point is, it's like now, it's like a year ago, it didn't even exist in my awareness that I could ever make 5,000 a month, let alone more. I had tried for years, for a decade, to get up to 5,000 a month, and I couldn't do it. And suddenly now, it's like 10,000 a month is low. Right? It was like it didn't exist in my awareness, and it's still something that I go like, wow, I did that. I could do this. And if I can do it, you can do it. Okay? And so I switched over to being a business coach, from a transformation coach to a business coach, because I realized that with most of my transformation coaching, I always had the ulterior motive to help them create their dream business. And of all the results my clients could get, the one that really excited me was when they created their dream business and made it successful. And I just love this part because I really believe that spiritual entrepreneurs are going to help make this world a better place. And if they're going to have as much impact as possible, they got to go out there and have a successful business. Because if they don't have a successful business, they are not creating a lot of impact. So it kind of goes together. And this was sort of the story about me. I'm not going to bore you with that. So I'm going to go back into the content of this, right? And I'm going to start with sharing with you a puzzle about business success, which had me flummoxed for years. And there's 6 pieces to this puzzle, and these are actually all real-life experiences from my life. And then when we come through all the content and all the teaching in this masterclass, I'll have solved the puzzles for you, okay? So 1, I have done a ton of marketing at times and gotten a ton of results. Number 2, at other times I have done a ton of marketing and gotten 0 results. At times I have done a ton of mindset work and gotten tons of results. At other times I've done tons of mindset work and gotten 0 results. Then there was that one time where I just said, I'm total failure at making money. I'm never going to make money again. I'm just going to lie down and die. And I just said, okay, so I might as well enjoy myself until something changes. And I just, relax and read a book or something like that. I said, well, either I'm going to die or something's going to change. I've done everything I know how to do. And the phone just started ringing. This was back in the 90s. And the phone just started ringing and saying, can I sign up for a session? Can I sign up for a session? I would like a session. And the truth here was, you know, it's sort of a little bit like a strange puzzle piece, but the truth was, it's like I was actually willing to not make any money anymore because I didn't know what else to do, and I just gave up. I just gave up. And there have been other times where I've been doing absolutely nothing, and I've had ton of results. Okay, so tons of marketing, tons of results. Tons of marketing, 0 results. Tons of mindset work, tons of results. Tons of mindset work, 0 results. Lying down to die, tons of results. Doing absolutely nothing, tons of results. So there is no correlation between what I have been doing and the results I have been getting. And this used to drive me nuts, because why would I sometimes do it? Why would I sometimes have tons of results and sometimes not? It's like it didn't seem to have any correlation to what I was doing or not doing. Okay? So I've set the stage for this whole masterclass, which is really about why what I do doesn't necessarily matter in and of itself. So I'm going to ask you questions as I go along, and I want you to answer those questions in the comments. So, Lisa, it is also what I do. It's not just who you be, who I am. Donna, no, you're just at the beginning. You just watched my story. So I'm just getting ready to dive into it. So when I ask you a question, I would love to hear your answers in the comments. So, and I'm going to start with mistake number 3, and then go to number 2, and then number 1. So, are you ready? So the biggest mistake that spiritual entrepreneurs make that keep clients away from them and also cash away from them is that their business is actually nothing but a fantasy, and that they are in denial about it. So I'm going to explain this, and I'm going to go into this. So first of all, let me ask you, what actually is a business? And I would love to hear how you explain this to me. So put it in the comments, please. I'm not seeing any. What is a business? Okay, so nobody's answering that. So then I'm going to go and ask, what makes business successful? Oh, here it is. Angela Joe. A passion project that generates sustainable income. That's great. Allison, a business is an energy exchange for service, providing service and getting paid for it. A business is something that makes you money. Yes, actually, yeah, business is a structure that generates money and resources. Here they come. I'd say it's a vehicle for exchanging value. A way to create money and having fun while doing it. Yeah, all great answers. Now, what then makes a business successful? What is the definition of a successful business? What is your definition of a successful business? Okay, profit, straight to it, profit. Okay, so the way I define a successful business is that there is an abundant money overflow. Yeah, income pays for you and much more. Yes, a business is living your passion and building wealth. And I'm happy, yeah. Making money while having fun at the work. Yeah. Yes, great. Especially for us spiritual entrepreneurs. Income with ease, results for client. Yes, especially for us spiritual entrepreneurs, it's Yeah. Awesome answers, guys. Providing massive value, which means that they didn't know they needed and highly compensated for it. Yes. So, oh, they keep coming. The successful business is one you're making money, can cover all expenses, can take a salary, enjoy what you're doing, can have a comfortable life. Okay, so a successful business for me is, it's like a lot of you got this. It's like making money on something I love to do, but not just making money. I'm just like having an insane money overflow. Okay, it's like just covering your expenses, that's not being successful. Just having a little bit extra, that's not very successful either. So it's like having massive money overflow so you can live your dream life. Okay? Now, I'm just going to put this in here. There are actually people who don't care about money. They want to go the other way. And that's their dream, and that's totally fine. But those of you who are here, you're here because you want to make at least 5,000 a month, and preferably a whole lot more on your spiritual business. So, bottom line, a business is that you have a product and you sell it. If you're not selling enough, you don't have a business, you have a fantasy of having a business. And when they say selling enough, that means making enough money to cover expenses, making enough money to cover expenses, and having extra. And if you want it seriously successful, that means generating a big money overflow. So if you have a business and you're not selling enough to have a money overflow, which is the definition of a super successful business or even just a successful business, why are you not selling? And bottom line, if you're not selling, you're not having a successful business. So why are you not selling? And that's what we will look at today. Okay? So, yeah, and if you're not selling, you have a fantasy of having a business. And that's what I want to change for you today. So it's not just a fantasy, but it's getting real. So I want to go in and talk about some of the common held beliefs of what it takes to create a successful business, because a lot of them, they're just going to trip you up, and it's best to oh, hi Tori, it's best just to get rid of them. So one thing I have heard from people, from entrepreneurs, when they start their business, I'll just let the universe provide me with clients. And I tried that, it doesn't work, right? But it's like, what strikes me now is like, where's the power over your life in that sentence? I'll just wait and see what clients universe sends me live. I'm just like, it puts you in a completely passive and total powerless role over your own business success. Not clear on offer, not lit up by offer, not in front of the right people, not telling the people. Yes. And more. Okay? So it's like with that statement, it's like you are saying, I have absolutely no power to affect the outcome of my business, and I have no power to create success. Yeah, Chiara, total passive and bullshit. Yeah, the universe will provide. It is. So what I'm hoping to get to here is like to the point where you take total ownership of your power to create exactly the business success you want. Okay, so a little bit about, hi Joanna, a little bit about the law of attraction, because this is like one of the biggest lies flying around out there. So there is a woman here that I know. She told me that she went all in on law of attraction and did everything according to the rules for 2 years or 3 years or 5 years or whatever it was, and never manifested one single penny. Okay? Talk about a, what do you call it, a false promise? Then I was reading, several years ago, I was reading a book that was recommended that's called Get Rich Lucky Bitch by Denise something. And she started talking about how, in the book there was all about how the law of attraction helped her make a lot of money. But as I was reading through the book, it's like, no, it wasn't the law of attraction. She was taking an insane amount of focused action to manifest her goal. So the visualizations and the affirmations and everything that she used, it was like a visualization. It was like her grabbing onto the goal and say, I want this goal so much that I'm willing to do whatever it takes. So what brought her success was like relentless, focused action. It was the action. Yes, Duffel, that's her, right. That's her name. And I stopped reading halfway through. I thought I was going to read this book that would help me make money, and all it was like, well, she thought it was the law of attraction, but it's actually just the insane amount of action she took, so it all consistently geared towards it. So, so anyway, it's like, yeah, these two examples talk for themselves. Now, I asked you yesterday here in the group, why do affirmations not work? So there was a lot of answers, and one of them is definitely, it becomes an excuse for not taking actions. It's like the myth here is, the lie that you have been told is that affirmations will help you make money. If you just believe it enough, the money will manifest. And we're going to get to how it really works later on. But what is really the problem with the affirmations is that you're actually lying to yourself. And with the affirmations, you are trying to convince yourself that what you believe is a lie is true. So, for example, your belief could be, I don't know how to make a lot of money. And then the affirmation would be, I do know how to make a lot of money. And I make money, lots of money, easily and effortlessly or whatever. But your truth that is residing in your conscious awareness is, you don't believe it. And we know that the higher truth, the actual truth, is, flip-flop, that what you have stuck in your brain is a lie and the affirmation is the truth. But as long as you believe that, you don't have the power to make a lot of money or create a successful business, no amount of affirmations is going to convince you that what you know is truth, that that's a lie. And then the affirmations becomes like, you have your truth here, and it's like the lie, what you know is a lie. You're lying to yourself, like constantly just pounding on the truth, with the result that the truth gets stronger and stronger and stronger, right? Because it's like resisting. Your truth, what you know to be truth, is that I don't have what it takes, I don't have the power to make money, whatever it is. And you're telling I make lots of money easily and effortless. It's going to clash, and it's like you're feeding it instead. So you might subdue it for a while, but it's going to pop back up again. So that is the biggest problem with affirmations. It's like, because you're lying to yourself. And Chiara says, and if you repeat often enough, say it over and over. Yeah. And yeah, so the next one I want to talk about is going with the flow. Oh my God, I've heard that so many times. And yes, it's true, and no, it's not true. So depends on where you're coming from. And this is going to be a lot of the case. A lot of the times here with what I'm saying is that it can be true, it can also not be true. In this case here, I'm busting at myth that going with the flow is everything you have to do. Now, I want you to think about like water, right? Like flow, like water is flowing. So if there isn't like a canal or, even a riverbed or something, or a pipe, like something for the water to flow in, it's just going to spread all over the place, right? It's like a river delta or a floodplain. It just goes all over the place. And when it goes all over the place and just spreads out like in a river delta or floodplain, it's not going towards something. Now, flow is great. The church bells. Hey Dana, the replay is going to be up for a while, so you can always come back and look at it. So what you want is like for the flow to work, it's like you have to give it something to flow in. And this is the part where it is not enough to go with the flow. You have to determine the direction of the flow. So, which means a goal. It's like when you create a goal, this is what I'm going to accomplish. You create like something for the water to flow in. Now, the other problem with going with the flow, it actually means I can't be bothered to do the hard work. I'm just going to sit down and let it happen like easy. And, basically I'm entitled to get something for nothing. If the flow is easy, I will do it, but I won't put in an effort. Now, another one is the same. It's sort of a variation of the same, right? It's like build it and they will come. For those who are old enough, remember the Field of Dreams? Right? It's like build it and they will come. So this is where a lot of spiritual entrepreneurs start, right? It's like you have a method, you have a technique, you know how to create amazing results for your clients. So you build it, but they are not coming. And it's just like me was a perfect example of that. Like way back in 1991, when I was working as a massage therapist, I had started doing massage in a gym, and me having no clue about this, I was just waiting in the massage room waiting for people to show up. And then the manager of the gym comes like, wait, you got to go out and tell people that you're doing massage and let them get to know you. It's like then they want to come. You can't just hide here. They're not going to come. So it's like another form of entitlement also, right? Part of it is just clueless. You don't actually have any idea of how to get people to come to you. But the other part is entitlement. Again, I don't have to do anything. Like the Field of Dreams movie, build it and they will come. You just have to build it and it will come. It doesn't work that way. And the last one is I'm just going to follow my intuition. And that can be true and it cannot be true. The problem here is that people tend to think that intuition is only about making them feel good, whereas what's actually happening is that the intuition is usually something that's really, really scary to do. It's going to feel like a leap of faith. So there's a lot of misunderstanding about intuition, and I'm going to come back more to that because it needs to be straightened out. So now I talked about these myths. I'm going to talk about what is actually required to make a business successful. Is one thing, there's a lot of C words here. Courage. Courage. If you don't have courage, you're never going to make a business successful because, you know the comfort zone, everything inside of it is what you're comfortable doing. Your business success exists outside your comfort zone, meaning you'll be required to pull out courage over and over and over and over again. And remember, the feeling of courage is fear. It's not that you have to be fearless. It's about feeling the fear and doing it anyway. It's commitment. And this is part of where, the title is that most people their business is just a fantasy and they don't quite get it. So part of the reason why it's just a fantasy is they're not fully committed to it. And I was sharing, I think it was just last week, how I realized that my business had been a toy, right? So it's not even a hobby, because hobby requires I'm adult. No, it's more like I was, like my child self had like, it's like my business is my toy box, and I can pick up, create all these wonderful toys and say, here, I want to come and share this. But, so yeah, it's great to be excited about what I'm doing. But what is really behind it is that I hadn't stepped up and fully committed myself to creating my business success. Well, I had, but I hadn't. So commitment means that you don't dabble. It's not something you dabble in. It's something you show up 100% committedly all the time. It's like your energetic presence has to be in there, and you don't drift, meaning that you don't go off on tangents. You don't question yourself when it gets hard. You don't go off on a sidetrack. Don't dabble, don't drift is what commitment means. And consistency, which ties in with the commitment, right? If you're not committed, you're not going to show up consistently. And consistency is taking relentless, focused action, which is something I'm going to come back to also. Another C word is capability, meaning you have to increase your capabilities to match the results you desire. And I think this is probably the one that is most overlooked here. There are two capabilities that you need to work with. One, are you an energetic match? We all know about that, it's like the whole law of attraction thing. Yes, you have to be an energetic match. But do you have the skills to actually make it happen? And when I say skills, that means like, do you know how to run a business and create marketing and, create offers and launch those offers and think through how can you best present, information so that it's going to convert into sales. And this is one, it's like, I started my real business education in 2010 when I first started looking into, how to grow my business and grow my online business. And it was like a complete different education. And I realized that as a result of this education, my thinking changed around what it means to be a business owner and what it means to make your business successful. Another one is confidence, of course. The confidence comes as a result of, having courage to take the fearful actions, being 100% committed, showing up consistently, and increasing your capabilities to match the results you desire. And then the last C word is getting expert help in getting you there, because you don't know what you don't know. You can't see your own blind spots. And it's like people like Oprah and Tony Robbins and all those people, they all have business coaches. And if I think a little bit, I will even be able to find the name of Tony Robbins' coach, because I know all the big names have one specific coach. But Oprah also, she had a business coach. It's like there is a reason why you want a coach. It's like getting expert help. It's like you would never try to study to become a doctor yourself, right? You want to be, educated. You want to have expert help teaching you how to become a doctor. Okay, so these are those things is courage, commitment, consistency, capability, confidence, and coaching. Those are required to make a business successful. So some of the things that makes you sabotage your success. Why am I doing this here? Okay. So you don't believe you have it in you. A lack of confidence, right? You don't believe you have the power to make it happen. Business as a toy, like you like the idea of having a dream business, but you have no real desire to do what it takes. So lack of taking full responsibility, it is lack of full commitment. You set no goals. Now, the goal, let me just rewind here. The first one, you don't believe you have it in you. And you don't believe you have the power to make it happen. Now, I'm going to blow that right up, because if you didn't believe it and you didn't believe you have the power to make it happen, the thought of turning it into a business would never even have occurred to you in the first place. So, let me give you an example. I don't believe I have it in me to become a car mechanic. And I don't believe I can set up a successful car mechanic business as a car mechanic. And it has never even occurred to me until now that that was even an option, because there's nothing in me that could deliver the results that my business would be about. So the fact that you're already thinking of it as a possibility, that's something you want to do, that you're doing, you do believe you have it in you, and you do believe you have the power to make it happen. And the whole thing is like about the commitment and responsibility. That's a choice. You know, it's like you got to have, think of it as a change of heart, right? It's like you have to decide to go full in. And this is, I'm going to return to that also. Now, a goal. A goal is very, very important, because a goal creates the channel for the flow to flow you towards the success. And then there's a part also, like not wanting to go outside your comfort zone, and that's easy enough. You just decide, I don't care how afraid I am, I'm going to do it anyway. So those are some of the most sabotaging successes here. So the important thing here is the courage, commitment, consistency, capability, confidence, and coaching. So I want you to rate yourself on a scale from 1 to 10 on courage. How often do you go outside your comfort zone, and how willing are you to live completely outside your comfort zone to make your business happen? Rate yourself between 1 and 10 on commitment. Don't dabble, don't drift. How consistently do you show up with focused action? Is it something you do when you feel like it, or are you there all the time, even if you don't know what you're doing? The capabilities. Rate yourself from 1 to 10. Are you an energetic match? Courage 8. Alison, I think I already knew that about you. Commitment 5. Awesome. There you can see exactly where your weak spots are, right? This is why I'm having you rate yourself. Consistency 3. Ooh, Alison. Total room for improvement. Next one, capability. Commitment 6. Awesome. Capability. Are you an energetic match? And do you have the skill set needed? Ooh, this is hard. Courage 7, commitment. I've been slacking 5. I get overwhelmed. Capabilities 10. Awesome. So the reason, and the confidence, focused action 7s, yeah. So the confidence is, oh great. I'm loving to see these numbers here. Courage 7, yes. So it's courage, commitment. Ooh, commitment 4, Kathleen. Capabilities 9, Alison, awesome. Confidence from 1 to 9. From 1 to 10, sorry, I was just looking at the 9. The confidence. It's like, remember this, if it even exists as an idea in your mind, It's because you have the confidence to actually make it happen. You have the confidence and belief in yourself, right? The confidence comes from belief in yourself. The leader, you're doing pretty good. Courage 10, coaching needed. Great. Maria, I'm your coach. We can talk afterwards. Yeah, well, Kathleen, you just moved. So, okay. So the last one is coaching. Do you have a coach that really helps you get results? Okay. Do you have a coach? Have you invested in a coach? I know you're probably all invested in programs. We all have. That's not the problem. Do you have a coach that can guarantee you results? Or are you trying to do it alone? Are you, scared of failing, if you invest more money? Yeah, Chiara, 9 on commitment. I waver when nothing happens. Yep. And this is an interesting point, right? I waver when nothing happens. That's when you have to stay with it, right? That's a commitment and the consistency. It's like manifestation is magic, and you don't control the timing of magic. Yes, been trying to do it alone. Oh my God, haven't we all, Angela Joe? Yeah. Great. Going there. So, yeah. So, it's like, let me say it one more time. Courage, commitment, consistency, capability, confidence, and coaching. So give yourself a number from 1 to 10 and see where you're at. So I'm going on to data point number 2. The mistake number 2. Sorry. That actions have too little impact. Now, going back again to what is a business. A business is all about having something to sell and selling it. Thank you, Sika. If you have no sales, you have no business. It's really that simple. Business equals product plus sales. No sales, no business. Sales are a result of action, meaning your business success is a result of actions. But if those actions don't have impact, they're not going to convert into sales. Great how you're showing up here. Lots of great numbers. Okay, it's like I could have guessed, otherwise you wouldn't have shown up here. Okay, so actions need to have impact, right? Your business success depends on actions, committed, consistent actions. But if those actions don't have impact, they're not going to convert into sales. And the majority of the actions you take in your business will be about generating sales. And in order to generate sales, you will have to promote and market. So this sort of all ends up that some people say up to 80% of your workday should be about marketing. So, I definitely spend a lot of marketing, and for those who follow me, it's like I spend a lot of time writing Facebook posts. And each Facebook post, I can spend hours on a Facebook post getting it exactly right. Sometimes it flows out, sometimes it will take me hours. So I want to just go in and look at actions in general. So when your actions come from a survival consciousness, which is where most people operate from, it's all fear-based, it's based on lack, and there is the fear of taking full responsibility, there's a fear of standing in your full power, there's a fear of taking risks, there's a fear of failure, there's fear of success, there's fear of standing out, there's fear of people not approving of you, there's fear of not having control, and there is other parts like waiting for permission, right? There is being imprisoned by obligation left and right and up and down and everywhere. There is things like codependence and lack of boundaries. Let's see. Here is another one. When you're in survival consciousness and coming from that, your actions coming from that, you believe that something outside of you has the power over your success and that you are not enough. So it has to be changed around, because if your actions come from survival consciousness, it is undermined by like all these fears, right? It's like fear of standing out, fear of not being approved of, fear of taking responsibility, fear of standing in your own power, because what are people gonna think? And with the survival consciousness, and I really want you to have this in mind, is because this is all about from, the old days of human evolution, where we needed to band together in order to survive. So it was imperative that we made sure that everybody approved of us, because otherwise we might be kicked out of the tribe. And if we, be kicked out of the tribe, we were outside, we had no protection in this super scary world, and we would die. So much of the survival consciousness and taking actions from it is that it becomes about getting people's approval. And people might not approve of us if we stand in our power. They might not approve of us if we speak our unapologetic truth, etc. They might not like it if we stop being codependent with them. They might not like it if we take insane leaps of faith, etc. So when you take your actions, when they come from the survival consciousness, one thing is you're looking to other people to give you the answers, right? It's like you can't trust yourself, because in the tribal survival consciousness, you are looking to other people to figure out how to do it right, because you want to make sure you get it right so that you don't get kicked out. And this is actually what a lot of business coaching is based on, which is basically saying, if you send out the same kind of emails I send out, you get the same kind of results. If you use the same formula I used, you got the same kind of results. And this is our survival consciousness that falls for that. And, if you take it one step further, it becomes about, really sticking with these formulas and processes and templates that we have been told will give you results, when this is the path, this is the appropriate path for that other person, the right path for that other person to create success. But we are all different. We all have a different path to success. And, in the survival consciousness, it's like we get so afraid of not doing what we are told we have to do in order to do it. Yes, Kiara, speak your unapologetic truth, no matter what. And the other part is, it's like there's survival consciousness. It's like it operates with logic and reason, right? It's like you have to do this, and then you have to do this, and then you have to do this, and then you have to do this, It's like this is how our whole schooling and our whole educational system is set up. It's like reasonable and logical. And I know you guys, you're way beyond that. And yet, it is insidious, right? It can really trip you up. Now, so that the actions you take is like you have been told that this very reasonable and logical action will give you a result, rather than trusting your intuition that provides the magic path. Now, another way that actions from survival consciousness shows up is lack of frequency. It's like becomes very infrequently that you show up. There's big gaps, between when you show up and do your marketing. Now I think I'm mostly talking about marketing, but it also spills into sales. It's like, and maybe it's just when you have an exceptionally strong burst of confidence, or when you have great new inspirations, not realizing that you decide when inspirations come. You have the absolute power to create your reality. If you believe that you create your own reality, that includes when inspiration comes. So the other part is, this goes back to, we need people to approve of us so we're not going to die. It's like a lot of marketing is about getting people to like you. And if they like you enough, then hopefully they will buy from you. And yes, big gaps. People forget about you, you disappear. So hope means that you're actually saying, I don't have power over this. Okay, I hope people are going to buy from me. Meaning, I don't have the power to create my own reality. You can't have it both ways. Either you have total power to create your own reality, including creating your own paying clients, or you believe you don't. And this is a choice, because the truth is you actually do. Yeah. Inconsistency, lack of commitment when you don't show up all the time. And it's like, rather than speaking your full truth, it becomes a modulated truth. It's like you modulate the truth for, to what people will approve of hearing. Yep, showing up consistently. And also your actions will typically be inside your comfort zone. You might step out of it sometimes, but then you will come back in. And you all know there can be desperation when it's a fear of money or whatever. There can be desperation in it, or there can be like poor me vibes. So what it actually sort of results in, I'm a lot on Facebook. I live my life on Facebook. My business is on Facebook most of the time. I see so many posts that are boring and they are bland, and they all say exactly the same. Hi, Sophia. They're all about people pleasing and getting approval. And a lot of them goes the same. It's like, okay, I had this hard thing happen and I overcame it. And now this is how I live my life. It's like formulaic. It's like I'm getting to the point where I don't really want to hear about people's trials and tribulations and hard things anymore, because, tell me, give me results, Another one is, and this ties in with the survival consciousness, right? It's like people have such a reluctance to sharing testimonials because it's not proper. How can you just like throw somebody's name and results out on Facebook, just like that, and it's like brag about your results. It's not proper. It's not, and the whole proper being appropriate, this ties in with this like tribal survival system that everybody has to approve of you, because otherwise you're going to get kicked outside the village walls and die. And what that means is that your marketing, there's no impact. You're not speaking with authority. You're not speaking with power. And you're not saying anything that a million people haven't said before. And it packs no punch, right? There's no impact in it, which is what I'm talking about. So now let's flip it around to the other side. So you want to get to the point where you start acting from your consciousness that is totally coded to help you thrive, which in a business context means creating massive money overflow. So in this consciousness operating system, as opposed to the one about survival, which was all focused about not dying, this one is all focused on massive, dream life. In general, now we're talking money, right? You take full responsibility for making your dreams come true. Okay. Hi, Kathleen. Yes, you got a client call. Come back around. The replay will be up. Yeah. So taking full responsibility for making dreams come true. This goes back to commitment. You have to either say, I will keep dabbling in that, I will treat it as a toy or as a hobby, or if you're going to take full responsibility for it, you are going to step totally up to it and say, I'm willing to do whatever it takes. Nobody ever created a successful business by doing it half-heartedly. It's like you got to go all the way in. You got to go 300% in and be willing to be massively uncomfortable and terrified all over the place and take insane risks. If you're not willing to take risks, you're not going to create a business success. So also from that place, that is all about thriving, is a place where you own your full power to create your life. And that includes you create your own clients, you create your own money income, you create your own business success. Because you are the only authority and power in your life. You're the sole ruler of your life, and what you decide goes. And when you're in the thriving consciousness, this is just what is. It's not something you pretend to be. You are that, and you know it beyond doubt. And when you are in this here, it's like, because it's not about survival, you actually don't care whether people approve of you or not, because it doesn't matter. What matters here is that you know what you know, and you take full ownership of what you know, and then you start speaking it. So it's about speaking your unapologetic truth, your full truth, your uncompromising, your unapologetic truth. Now, with that I'm saying is, don't spit all your issues on other people. Speak the highest truth possible and be smart about it, right? Because this is still, do your capabilities match the results you desire? So when it comes to speaking your truth to achieve business success, it's not just about speaking your truth, it's about speaking your truth in such a way that people want to buy from you. I mean, I can go out there and speak a lot of truth, and most of them is not going to do anything for my business success, rather the opposite. It's going to keep people away. So I have to choose, and this is part of, again, the capabilities part, right? You have to learn what truth to speak and how to speak it so that people get massively interested in becoming a client of yours, a customer of yours. So it's like this, like taking a total stance for your truth and be absolutely smart of it. Smart about it, be smart about the actions you take. It's not just any kind, yes, don't spit all your issues out. Yes, be smart about the actions, right? This is a capabilities thing. Now, another part is be willing to take risks. If you're not willing to take leaps of faith, because you know you're going to fly, well, occasionally you might splash, which I have done more than once, but you know that in order to get to the next level of success, you have to jump off the cliff. And if you're not willing to do that, just have your hobby, your toys. And it's about going fearlessly into your biggest fears. So it's like very typically, I think 99% of my clients, they are terrified when they decide to work with me. They are scared, and super excited, right? So that's how I know that it's a perfect match. Because if they weren't scared, as scared as and excited, super scared and super excited, they are not ready. So it's just like super scared and super excited, you stand there on the edge of the cliff and you jump. And again, it's like, be smart about what you jump into, right? Is you're going to jump towards your goal of creating a business success? Are you jumping into something that has nothing to do with it, which is again to do with your commitment and not going astray? Don't drift. Jump into a thing that moves you forward. So with my current coach, the program I'm in with them is like a one-on-one coaching package. When they first mentioned it to me, I got instantly scared. It's like I didn't even know what they were doing, and I just knew, okay, I'm scared, I got to go in there. And that was an $18,000 package, coaching package I'm in. And then they presented me with like a $1,000 coaching package. And I was even more terrified of going into that. You have no idea how much I resisted doing this $1,000 coaching package. So the fears, which I of course did, because I could sense, oh my God, I have so much resistance to this. I have to go in there. Because where the resistance is, the place I don't want to go, the place I'm scared of doing, the risk I don't want to take, that's where my business growth lies. And I know I can't do it myself. Coaching is one of the C's. And the other part is from the thriving consciousness is like you trust your intuition no matter how illogical it seems. And a lot of times intuition is not logical and it's still the fastest path. So one way, I'm going to talk more about intuition later, but one example is that last summer I was doing a launch. This was in August. I was launching a program, and sort of in the middle of the launch it came in so strong, you need to take 4 days off. And I was like, talk about being illogical, right? Why would anybody take 4 days off in the middle of a launch? But I said, okay, I'm committed to following my intuition. So I did, and for 4 days I did anything else but look at my computer. And that turned into a $24,000 launch. Okay? So I sold for $24,000 in that launch. Would I have done it without the 4 days off? Probably likely not, because I could feel the energetic change. And that taking those 4 days off made me an energetic match for those $24,000, right? So what does actions look like when you're in the conscious operating systems of thriving? Coming from a place of standing in your full power as the only creator and ruler of your life. You have all the power over your life. There's nothing outside of you that has more power over your life than you do, including how much money you make. Because you create your own clients, right? So your actions, they are bold, they are audacious, if not right out outrageous. They are loaded with power, they are loaded with truth, they shatter paradigms, they break patterns, they shatter myths, they shatter fantasies. They are very often terrifying to you. I mean, some of these things I have posted on Facebook, I have been absolutely terrified. Terrified. I tell you, absolutely terrified. You are relentless, you are focused, you are consistent, and you take risk. You know that some of the actions you take by following your intuition, and sometimes you don't even know it's your intuition, you have to take the action anyway. You might end up being a failure, and as I told you, I have a splash jumping off a cliff, right? You might look totally foolish, and you might find a lot of people don't approve of you anymore. Commitment to do whatever it takes, because if you're not willing to risk failure, possible failure, if you're not willing to risk possibly looking foolish, if you're not willing to risk people's approval, pointless. Okay? The other part is when you act from your conscious operating system of thriving is you have extremely high standards. So that means part of the standards is I'm not willing to settle for anything less than the absolute, complete fulfillment of my desires. And if something comes along that doesn't meet those standards and your desires, you let it go. And this is really, really, really hard when you want to make money and somebody comes along and offers you less, it's like what you would charge, or they want something that doesn't fit with what you offer, and you have to turn that away, right? But you do it anyway because you are not willing to settle for anything less than the absolute fulfillment of your heart's desire. And that's hard. That's hard. It's not easy. And when you post, right, it's absolutely unapologetic. You throw it out there. It's not mean. It's not ruthless. It is not like all over the place. It's still absolutely focused. Remember, focused actions. And another thing here, which is something I'm going to go in and talk about, is like it's about results, not just about transformation. So if you put all this into your marketing, how would it be different? If you showed up bold, audacious, outrageous, loaded with power, loaded with truth, ready to shatter paradigms, ready to disrupt patterns, ready to shatter myths, taking risk, having absolutely high standards, not compromising, being unapologetic, not caring about people's approval, what would your marketing look like then? And any audience-related activities you take. How would that be different? So I'm going to ask you right now, what terrifying or bold, power-loaded action of truth can you take right now to grow your business, and put it in the comments. Could be, Chiara. Maybe the way you speak your truth is the issue. I will have to look into it. So what terrifying, bold, power-loaded, truth-loaded action can you take in your business right now? I need to see some answers. They're not coming. Let's see. Go live. There you go, Alison. My feeling with you, Chiara, is that you have been too unfocused in your actions. They have been scattered. I'll have to look at it for sure, but that's the sense I'm getting. Yes, first newsletter actually announcing what I do. Well, that's very helpful because nobody can buy your services if they don't know you have any services to offer. See, it's like very hard for people to buy your services if they don't know that you're offering them. And this is part of being bold, right? It's like going out and telling people, hey, this is what I'm doing. Do you want to buy from me? Okay. So I don't see anything else. Let's see. So I'm going to go back to the number one biggest mistakes. Is that people are either doing too much Hogwarts or too much Harvard. Imposter syndrome. Yeah. Too much Hogwarts or too much Harvard. So what do I mean by that? It's like Hogwarts. It's the fun part for us spiritual entrepreneurs because it's all about the mindset and the energy and working on yourself and transformation. And Harvard is all about the three-dimensional business practices, where you learn how to, create a funnel or do a video series or, set up the email autoresponder or create a Facebook ad or whatever it is, it's like learning how to create a blog, learning how to get people to come to your blog. It's like there's a whole bunch of very three-dimensional, boring things that you have to learn, which is part of the capability. So the capabilities that I talked about before is both Hogwarts and Harvard. They go together if you want to manifest magically. Okay, Alison says, I agree with that too. I've been in my weakness of inconsistent and not committed. Yes, I need to go live clearly stating this is what I offer, giving them something to buy. The leader, write a post about coaches putting their work on sale and giving free stuff. Yes, great. You have some ideas. So when I first started with my business success, right, it's like I was all into, success and money is all about the mindset. And also I was focused on my mindset and my energy and my chakras and healing my money wounds. And the tech stuff is a hard slog. Capabilities, my dear, they need to be part of it, unless you delegate it. So it's, the victim that is saying is like, this is too much hard work, I can't be bothered. So you don't. And that's how you sabotage your own success, but you're not stepping up to the plate to do what needs doing. So I have been in the transformation world for 30 years. No, since 87, that's a long time. 33 years, right? And I love personal transformation. And this is, so I was all Hogwarts, like totally all Hogwarts. And then I realized, I got some success. I got some success with working with the mindset and energy. And then I realized, and I think I mentioned that in 2010, if I really want to grow my business more, actually I have to learn some Harvard stuff. I have to learn some three-dimensional, very boring business practices. So I really went into that, and I learned a ton about business building and marketing and scaling and writing posts and doing the emails and doing the tech and how to put up a website and how to create an effective ad. I put so much money into that, which is great. Increasing my capabilities, which means that I have a ton of background knowledge about how to actually do the three-dimensional part of a business that my clients benefit from. And this really worked to an extent too, but it didn't give me as much success as I wanted. So I went back to the mindset again, because obviously when I was doing all the right things and I wasn't selling, the problem must be with me. And then that didn't give me as much success as I wanted. So I went back to learning more business practices like selling and learning how to sell better and learning how to do better marketing. And that sort of went okay, to a certain extent, right? So I'm sure you have been there, going between one and the other, maybe not, and putting tons of money out and putting tons of money out and putting tons of money out. And then suddenly, within a few months, my income soared from, 0 to 10,000 and stayed there, when for 30 years, I've only averaged like 2,500 in a month for decades, and suddenly a vroom. And this is one promise I'm going to make you here. If I can do it after 30 years of finally figuring out, if I can do it, you can do it. And I know exactly how to get you there, right? So I'm going to tell you my secret of how I got there. There's actually lots of little things. So if you go from here, from being extremely difficult for me to sell a $100 program to selling an $18,000 package effortlessly in less than a year, and within a few months taking my income from 0 to 10,000 a month, the secret. The first one was like the commitment, right? It's like I committed myself that I was going to stay with this business until I figured out how to create money overflow, no matter how long it took me and no matter what I had to do. So I changed my commitment. It's like I up-leveled my commitment that no matter what, I was never gonna give up on it. So as long as you hold on to this, well, if it doesn't work out, I can just do something else. I can just go on unemployment, or I can just get a job or whatever. As long as you have a safety net or you have a backup plan, you're not 100% committed. And what this really was, it was like a choice, it was a decision, but it was really a change of heart. So because I had always allowed myself the option of failing, because my pride was attached to, if I just keep on trying, I'm okay, because that's my success and never give up. But I changed it so that my success is I'm actually going to create money overflow. The second part I did, I started taking consistent and frequent and relentless leaps of faith, no matter how afraid I was. And I already shared that how I go into the things I'm afraid of. But what characterized it was, the scared plus excited feeling at the same time. This is how I know it's the right decision. And that means it's like taking relentless leaps of faith, meaning taking decision to spend my money in an irresponsible way, like rather than paying down my debts, I would put it into a coach. And I did it over and over and over again because I was not going to give up. I would persist and figure this out. So I ended up, like last year, I invested $30,000 in my coaching, meaning which I've more than recuperated now. So it's like I spent money on rent and food and coaching last year. I didn't even pay my taxes. I didn't pay my debts. I went all in with the coaching. And I didn't wait till I had the money. That's the other part, right? I made the decision that I was going to do whatever it took to grow my business, and I would go exactly where my intuition told me to, like the scary place, the excited place, the place that felt right. And I would figure out how to get the money to get there. And this is how I've been doing it all the time since. It's like, what do I want the money for? And then the money manifests with overflow, right? I'm also getting into overflow now. But last year, it's like that was coaching and rent and food, and that was it. And I changed from being a transformation coach to a business coach. And I'm going to tell you why this is really, really important change, because, just in a little bit. So the other part I did was to dare to dream much bigger. I was not okay with just making enough money. I wanted to go big, and I decided I'm going to go to $10,000 a month, no matter what. I actually skipped the 5,000 because I'd already done that. But I'm going to go for $10,000, and I don't care what it's going to take. I'm not going to settle for anything less than $10,000 a month. And that was a key decision, because with that decision comes, oh my God, now I have to take the actions to get there, right? And I stopped operating from my survival consciousness. And I started doing everything my coach told me to. And everything my intuition told me to, no matter what. So now I'm going to tell you a very, very important thing here. Because I don't know how many of you work with transformation, but it used to be that transformation was a really, really hot thing. You go back to the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the first decade of the 2000s. Transformation was hot. There was a demand for it, right? It was like it sold like you wouldn't believe it. But now, Empowerment is the new normal. And information on how to transform is available for free, and it's super, super cheap. It's not like it used to be. So if you're in the business of transformation, you are outdated. It's like the world has moved beyond transformation being a thing that sells very well. And this is what resulted me in not being able to sell any of my transformation coaching programs for a year. I just couldn't do it. So what has happened, and for those of you in transformation, you know that since 2012, people change much faster. What used to take like several sessions now takes half a session. So there's been more and more the focus has shifted from transformation, the process of transformation, to just feel good and just feel empowered, to real life tangible results. So a result is not a change in feeling, but a change in real life. So a result is when you apply information and transformation for the specific purpose of a real life change. And this is why, it's like I've been doing transformation coaching, right? Now I'm doing business coaching. And while, and right now my focus is like on getting people to the first 5K months and then beyond. I mean, if they're first, if they skip 5K and go to 10K, I'm super happy, right? But it's like the results. It's the results we are focusing on now. I'm not here to make you feel good about your business. I'm here to help you do whatever it is that is needed to get to your 5K or 10K or 20K or whatever is the next step. So people who are still stuck selling transformation, they are going to struggle, and probably struggle more and more, because the market has shifted, and markets do shift. So the challenge here is that it's time for us spiritual entrepreneurs to step up our game and take ownership of the results we are giving people. And this is really, really, really hard, because, oh my God, am I going to take responsibility for people's results? No. Their actions are still their own. But you're going to take the responsibility for the power of what you know. And this is part of, you have to step up and become fully committed, because that commitment, rediscovery is transformation. Rediscovery for what? This commitment is a commitment to providing results. Actual, concrete results. That's where business success is. And if you can guarantee results, like I'm saying, if you do exactly what I say, you will make 5,000 within the first 4 months of working with me. This is a promise. And I know that because I stepped up and took responsibility for knowing what I know. I started owning what I know that I know. Instead of like, oh, but I can't take responsibility for the people. I can't. The choice still lies with my clients. But if they do what I say, yeah, they're going to make 5,000. So, or more. There's no reason they can't make any more than 5,000. Because it took me less than 4 months to get from 0 to 10,000. So why not you? So what is happening here, right? It's like to manifest. It's like it's a combination of mindset and energy and action, and all three of them combine together in very precise ways to give you that result. So very quickly, the law of manifestation, the true one, not the law of attraction, is like you decide what you want to have happen. You set your desire, this is what I want. And then you commit yourself to it completely and take full responsibility and take a stand for it. So I am going to make 5,000, working with the 5,000, you're welcome to go higher. I will make $5,000 a month, and I will do whatever it takes. And I'm going to take full responsibility for doing whatever it takes, and I will take a stand for what I desire, and I'm not going to let it go, and I'm not willing to settle for anything less. And with that comes, you have the desire. You commit yourself completely, take 100% responsibility, and you grab your strengths and you grab your power, knowing that you have absolute power to make this happen. And you take all the actions that are precise and guided by your intuition as much as you can, and then magic happens, because manifestation is not a step-by-step process. It's like holding this unbending intent. It's like you have decided that this is going to happen, and therefore it happens. You have all had experiences like that. Like one of my famous examples is like, I decided one day that I wanted to get my toddler son a tricycle. And I just said, okay, I'm going to go get it. I just decided. And then next morning, my friend calls me up and says, oh, I'm cleaning out my garage and my daughter's tricycle is available. Do you want it? And just like that, we all have had examples of that, right? And it's not the logical, it's not the reason, it's like having this very, very clear intent. But actions need to be taken. You need to take the actions to manifest. So your intuition is the fastest path to manifestation. So your intuition, you can think of it as the voice of your soul, right? So your soul exists on a higher dimensional level, and a place where time is not linear, but where past, present, and future is all right now. So on that level, the future you desire already exists, and it exists right now. The future you desire already exists, and it exists right now. And your intuition is going to tell you this is the fastest way here. So the thing about intuition, it needs a channel to come through. And you create that channel with your 300% commitment to do whatever it takes. It's like, then it comes in like, oh, this is what she wants. No, here comes the intuition. I'm going to tell you to do this and do this and do this and do this. But the problem is, if you're coming from survival consciousness, it's going to override the message from the intuition, because the fear, because intuitions don't always make sense, right? And when you're in the survival consciousness, if the intuition is telling you to do something that's scary, you're just going to automatically and often unconsciously just reject it without even knowing that's there. And the same thing if you are in survival consciousness. It's like operating system, if your intuition tells you something that's not business related, like me taking 4 days off in the middle of my launch, it's like most people will automatically not do it. Right? Because it's not logical, it's not reasonable. So, but still, it's like what happens energetically is that when you have this strong desire, your soul or higher self goes out and connect to your soul clients, your future clients on an energetic level. And everything your intuition tells you is to strengthen the energetic connection so that they're going to come to you faster. And the truth is, sometimes you don't know if it's intuition or not, and you just do it anyway, and then you deal with the results, the outcome of that. Sometimes I don't know if it's intuition or not, so I just do it anyway. Okay? So the intuition here is all about telling you the precise action or non-action to take that will get you your desire fulfilled the fastest. Okay, so by now, so we're kind of coming to the end of this. So I have now, busted some myths and told you a whole bunch of things about action, how actions need to be consistent and what is required for success and what kind of actions you need to take, what you need to put behind your actions. And not all of it is comfortable. So of all the things I've been telling you so far, what has been your biggest personal realization? And I know I have told you a whole bunch of stuff. Okay, so what is your biggest personal realization? Okay, so nothing coming. So nobody has any big realizations. Oh, here's one. I think the numbering where I have had to get honest with myself on my deficits was amazingly useful. Awesome. Make your dream bigger, Eglo. Yes. I gave you a dream, 20,000 a month. Big dream. It's to do with looking at my truth and what it's really saying, understanding the law of manifestations much better. You put light on what I already knew deep down when I've had a fantasy business and not being fully committed and consistent. Yes. Yes, there's awesome realizations here. And I would actually encourage you to come back and watch it one more time because there's so much information in this that there's no way you can remember all of it. Okay, so yeah, I need to do. Fear has kept me complacent and paralyzed. Awesome, yes, Alison, complacency, yes, paralyzed. Fear can totally paralyze you. You go into total freeze. My willingness to take a leap of faith and what actually it takes to create a successful business. Yes. Awesome. So now I have a question for you. Another question. How soon do you want to make 5,000 a month? Give me a number of months. How many months are you willing to wait to make 5,000? Thank you, Chiara. Eglo 2, yep. Anybody else wants to give me a number? Lisa, ASAP. ASAP, what number is that? How many months? 4 weeks, 1 month, yes. Good, 1 month. Okay, see if there's more numbers coming. When you put it that way, yes. So, whether you're going to get it or not in those months, that is a question of whether your capabilities match the results. Remember that? Are you an energetic match? Are you a skills match? Both of them has to go together, Hogwarts and Harvard. I'm aiming for 15K. I'm already 5 to 8. So the next 90 days, awesome, Maria. There's a lot of everything I said here is totally valid for scaling your business also. And if you're already making 15K, the Next step is probably a whole lot more with the energetics of it. And I would love to have a conversation with you about it. But yeah, if you do 5 to 8K already, you could get to 15K in 2 months. So 3 months you have. Yeah. So I'm going to tell you here what I'm offering, because I'm going to offer you like coming into a one-on-one coaching container with me, where the guarantee is that I will get you to 5K within the 12 weeks of working with me. And I have 4 spots available. Okay, so I can take 4 more people. I already have several one-on-one clients. And if you want to apply for a coaching spots, because I have high standards about my clients, right? You can go to my website and fill out the application. And my website is gitalarsen.com. It's just there on the front page. So, and if you're feeling scared and excited about coaching with me, that would be a good indicator that maybe you should go and fill out the application. So I want to return to the puzzle I gave you in the beginning. So the one with 6 pieces, where I said I was doing tons of marketing and got tons of results. I was doing, number 2, I did tons of marketing and got no results. I was doing tons of mindset work and got tons of results. And I got tons of mindset work and got no results. And then I was lying down to die and I got tons of results. And I was doing absolutely nothing and I got tons of results. And when I mean results, or when I say results, I mean clients and money. Okay? So the answer to that puzzle is that those times where I got massive results, whether by marketing or by mindset work or doing absolutely nothing, is because I accidentally came up with the precise way, or ended up doing the precise thing that allowed the money and client to come to me in that moment. And I made a lot of money. So the key word here is precise. I ended up doing the precise thing that in that moment was the right thing to do, and at the right time, showing up at the right time, doing the right thing, saying the right thing, doing the right, the right place, whatever, right. So the precision piece was exquisitely exact, and that's why I made a lot of that money that way. So my coach has a mentor that says, magic never happens the same way twice. Right? So when I tried to do the same things, the exact same things, whether it was the same kind of marketing, or whether it's the same doing nothing, or it's the same mindset work, it is never the same thing twice when it comes to precision, except when it is and I do it. But when I'm doing it out of fear, out of the survival mindset, it's not going to work. And I can't force it. Magic can't be forced. So just a few quick examples here from my clients, why precision creates sales, right? Precision is knowing exactly what to do, when to convert, people into buying customers. That's a precision piece. And the precision piece requires that your capabilities can hit that precision. And a successful business with massive money overflow means you have to hit that precision piece all the time. And not just accidentally, which I'm sure all of us have experienced. I certainly have a lot in the past. The precision piece has to be there all the time. So one of my clients, she had an average of 3, 4, 5, maybe sometimes 10 clients in a week. And I worked with her on her energy, getting her out of her survival consciousness. And suddenly, I can't remember, it's like within the first 6 weeks of working with me or so, she zoomed up to 24 clients in a week, and it stayed really, really, really high. So I I don't have the exact number, but I assume it's something from, changing from making 200 a week to making 1,000 a week. I have another client, which is a testimonial I often share because it just keeps blowing my mind. So she's an artist, and she has been a painter for, I think she said 32 years. And, she has always had, exhibitions and, great critique or whatever, but she hadn't sold anything. So I told her to take some actions specifically related to sales. And she sold 9 paintings, her first 9 paintings ever in 9 days, earning her first 900. It was like 999, I always remember that. But in this case, there was nothing about working on her energetics. It was just all about the precise action that opened up for sales at this exact time in her life. And the other one is not actually specifically sales oriented, but this is a client of mine who came to me because she wants to stop what she's doing and start her dream business. And we kept hitting this massive, massive wall. So I told her to sign up for a gym class. And her signing up for the gym class just allowed that whole wall to shatter. And the way is clear for her to start her dream wall. So this is part of precision coaching, right? It's like knowing when do you need to work with the mindset? When do you need to work with the energy? When do you need to work with the actions? Right? And, because I know all these 3, I can totally confidently guarantee you those 5,000 when you work with me, within the 12 weeks. And as I said before, it's like if you feel scared and excited, working with me, doing something else, this is a sign that you are poised to take the next leap of faith. And your scared and excitement is going to be your signal that that's where you're going to go next, whatever it is. So, So I have 4 one-on-one coaching spots available. I have a few cheaper programs also. One of them starting next week. It is next week, which is all about working on your business shadows. And you can talk to me about the program if you want to get into my one-on-one coaching container and actually commit yourself, because coming into my coaching container requires you up-level your commitment and do whatever it takes. Just send a message out to me and we will talk. Okay? And also, if you have any questions, anything, you can comment more here, whatever. It went to almost 2 hours. I'm surprised. Well, I kind of figured 2 hours with comments. So this has been totally awesome. What I want you to do right now, guys, is that go into the courage, commitment, consistency, capabilities, confidence, and the coaching, and get yourself to really get behind this, to give it everything you have, and not just half-heartedly or quarter-heartedly or third-heartedly or whatever it is. Okay? I'll be around.